Hi guys, welcome to this new video. Por si no me conocéis, soy Verónica, soy profesora de inglés especialista en C1 y todo el mundo me llama Vero. Okay, so in this new video, I'm going to explain to you the difference between used to and would. Ambos significan solía y se usan para hablar sobre cosas que sucedían o eran verdad en el pasado, pero que ya no son verdad o no ocurren. Okay, so to begin with, I'm going to tell you that used to is always correct. You can use used to in any situation, action, habit, anything. But what happens? What happens here? What's the difference? So, used to, I've just told you that it's always correct. But sometimes we can use would. Would is used to talk only about habits or actions, right? Let's have a look at the examples. You're gonna see it clearer with the examples. The first sentence. When I was a child, I used to go skiing every winter. Okay, here we have used to. Cuando era niño, solía ir a esquiar cada invierno. What's this? Is this a habit, an action, a state, a situation? Well, this is clearly an action and a habit. I told you that used to is always correct, so we can use used to. But in this case, we could also use would because go skiing is a habit and an action. So we can also say, when I was a child, I would go skiing every winter. So in this case, both used to and would are correct. Let's have a look at the second sentence. From the age of 12 until I was 16, I used to dance at the weekends. Good. Here we have used to. Again. Good. So, is dancing at weekends a habit or an action? Yes, of course. It's a repeated action, a habit, okay? A habit of the past. So here, used to is always correct, but in this case, we can also use would. So it's correct to say from the age of 12 until I was 16, I would dance at weekends. Good. Are you well till here? Let's continue. As a child, I used to be blonde. Here we have used to. Would it be correct to say, as a child, I would be blonde? No. Why? Because being blonde is not a habit or an action. Being blonde is a state, right? Is a state. So used to is only correct for states or situations. Being blonde, we can consider being blonde a situation as well. So here we can only use used to. Cuando era niño, solía ser rubio. Let's have a look at the next sentence. I used to live with my mom when I was a child. I I used to. Good. Was that a habit or an action? Can we use would? Living with your mom is more a situation. It wasn't a habit. It was a situation. It wasn't something you did as a habit, right? So here in this case, we can only use used to. Next sentence. When I was a child, we would go to the shopping center every Saturday. Good. Here we have would. As I've told you, used to is always correct. So we could also say, when I was a child, I used to go to the shopping center every Saturday. So here, since used to is always correct, we could also use used to. Why can we use here would as well? Well, going to the shopping center every Saturday, it was a habit and an action, right? It was something you did as a habit, repeatedly. Good. And the last sentence, my fifth grade teacher would tell me to shut up at the beginning of every class. Good. Here we have would, and we can use would because your teacher telling you to shut up at the beginning of every class, that was a repeated action that is a habit. So that's why we can use would here instead of used to. But it is correct to use used to because used to is always correct. Right. I'm finished. So I hope it's clear now the difference between used to and would. I'm going to tell you to make a sentence and leave it in the comments using used to and would. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave it in the comments. See ya!